My husband just told me he had $8,000 in secret debt 30 minutes after we broke our lease. My husband and I share two kids under the age of 5. We both have great jobs, and recently he was offered a good promotion in another city and asked to relocate. I was very hesitant to move because we have good jobs and the cost of living is still challenging for us. My husband really wanted to go, so he prepared a ton of budgets and scenarios to help me feel more comfortable about the move. Basically, he said, "I've got this," and we agreed that I would quit my job to relocate for his promotion. Before all this, we completed a debt consolidation about 4 years ago, which is now totally paid off. Our credit took a hit, but it will be wiped off our records next May. Even though it's paid off and I use my savings to do it, he now pays me back biweekly. We can't take on new debt because of the consolidation and low credit. I ask him every month about finances, and he says there are zero issues and zero debt. Last weekend, we sent in a notice to end our tenancy at our current rental, where we have been for 5 years. My husband helped me edit the letter, and we sent it together. About 30 minutes later, he approached me and told me he had something to tell me. He proceeded to say he had about $8,000 of debt on a high-interest credit card. I was absolutely shocked, devastated, confused, and panicked. Honestly, it felt world-shattering because we had just broken our lease. Additionally, he falsified the budgets he gave me and led me to make a decision to quit my job and leave the city we have called home, based off incorrect information. His finances are so bad, there's zero way he could have paid off the debt. Luckily, I had an appointment to resign from my job the next day and hadn't yet quit, but I'm sick to my stomach thinking that my husband led my family into this decision through lies and falsified financial records. I have zero debt and $26,000 in savings and $3,000 in my regular bank account. My husband continued to assure me that he had zero debt issues and said we had nothing to worry about. Unfortunately, we never merged our bank accounts because it just got so busy after having kids. My husband did this to me once before, but it was more straightforward. We were at a dental appointment for one of our kids, and I forgot my credit card, so asked him to pay. He told me the card was maxed and that he had lied to me about it. This was also just after we had filed our consumer proposal, and again, we're not supposed to have any debt. I paid off his debt with my money, and he swore he would never do it again. At this point, it's a pattern, and I just don't know what to do. What upsets me more than the financial infidelity is how he lied to get me to move cities. He falsified budgets and withheld his debt, knowing he wouldn't be able to pay it down. I was terrified to move because I really need financial security, and we plan to buy a house next year, but he assured me over and over that he had it covered. I have a really good job, and losing it while in financial trouble puts me and our kids at risk. Additionally, he only told me because he was backed into a corner. We were applying for a new rental and needed a full credit report. He had no intention of revealing this or getting honest, and with his debt and tanked credit score, securing a new rental will be difficult. What do I do? I have two kids under 5, and what I haven't mentioned is that I have an autoimmune disease. I function very well, but the thought of parenting alone is terrifying. My husband knows that stress is not good for me as I developed the disease following my second pregnancy, but he did it anyways. He showed me his financial statements, and it just looks like mindless overspending, but he definitely did some shady stuff. He went on a trip to Ottawa for a hockey tournament after I'd had a medical infusion and was so sick, knowing he had 7,000 Eller in debt on his credit card and spent over $1,000. He's been devastated and taking accountability and begging for forgiveness, but I just don't know what to do. Objectively, what is the right thing for my family? I'm so scared to hurt my kids, but I feel like I'm married to someone who can't be truthful. I can't trust anything he says or does, and just can't wrap my head around his actions. The debt started about 3 years ago, and he's had all that time to get honest, but he waited until our housing and livelihood was on the line. It's discombobulating. Why did he do this to his partner? I've asked him many times, and he has no answer. Everything is nuanced. My husband can be a great guy. When I met him, he was not so great, and clearly neither was I. I had a traumatic upbringing, and it caused me to be really codependent and attracted to people who I should have run from. I've done a ton of one-on-one therapy. I'm sober for 6.5 years, work a strong 12-step program, and I recently graduated as a mental health worker. I've seriously worked on healing and upgrading myself. My husband took advantage of me in many ways throughout the years, not just financial, by being lazy, not doing chores, checking out mentally, withholding intimacy, being mean and cold, and treating me like an inconvenience. Sometimes he's okay, other times he's super cold and detached with me. It's so hard, but he's good with the kids and I always forgive him. Anyways, I realize this isn't making him sound any better, but he stepped it up in the past year after I threatened to divorce him. He just never got honest about this, and it finally caught up to him.